So lately I've been really into Guilty Gear. I really got into Guilty Gear when it came out. Strive, I mean, last year. I'm a filthy Ramlethal main. But then now I'm a filthy Baiken main. But I've been playing Guilty Gear. I've been playing with a couple friends and it's been fun. And I've always been meaning to get into the Guilty Gear universe properly. I've never got around to, but I always thought I was gonna do it. And today is that day. Today is the day we get into Guilty Gear lore. Today is the day we're gonna find out what are the secrets of the universe of Guilty Gear. And the way we're gonna be doing that is by watching a series of YouTube videos from a channel that I really like, actually. What's up? So, hopefully everything is working fine. I think it should be. I was testing shit out because it's been a long time. But stream issues might arise as usual. But we're going to be watching this series, Guilty Gear Lore Heaven or Hell, by the channel Wooly Versus. I love Wooly's channel. I've been following Wooly, and even from the old days on the old channel, Super Best Friends Play. So, yeah, Wooly is great. And when this series of Guilty Gear videos released, when Strive was coming out, I thought, that's cool. I want to watch these videos. But I was like, what if I do it on camera? And then over a year passed. Now we're here. So yeah, this came out in October 2020. So it's been a long time. And today we're going to be watching this video. So there's 7 of these videos. And I'm not going to be watching all of them. I think I'm going to be watching up to the 4th one. I'm not entirely sure. But this is what I want to do. I want to watch all the events, because Guilty Gear is a series that has been going on for a long time. There's multiple games, some of which are fighting games, some of which are weird MOBAs, some of them are pachinko games. Doesn't matter. We're going to be getting into Guilty Gear lore, and the best way to do it, to my understanding, is by watching these videos. When I get to Guilty Gear Xrd is when I'm going to just straight up boot up Guilty Gear Xrd, because I have it on Steam, and I'm gonna watch the story mode in Xrd. And then after we finish Xrd, I'm gonna boot up Guilty Gear Strive and watch the story mode in Guilty Gear Strive. That's the plan. I haven't watched any of those. And to my understanding, it's just a straight up movie. In Strive and Xrd, it's just a straight up like 5-hour movie, which is great. So I'm just gonna do that whenever we get there. But right now, I'm going to be watching the events from Guilty Gear, the first game, timeline before Guilty Gear 1, and then XX, XX to 2 Overture, and then until Xrd, whatever titles we have in between. I will say, though, that I have... What actually made me actually want to do this, like, finally, properly, is because I was doing some wiki diving the other day on Guilty Gear lore, because I just went into the fucking Guilty Gear wiki because I was curious about shit, and I like started reading shit, and I was getting confused, and then more confused, and then more confused, and it's like the best feeling of like anime bullshit whenever you're like click on something and it redirects you into something else that has a different name, and then that different name says also known as a third name, and it's not even like whatever the fuck you clicked on initially, and you just get confused because like it's like 7 layers of like concepts that you have no knowledge about what the fuck it means, and it becomes like insane. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's do it, let's pull the trigger. I kind of followed what happened right at the beginning of the timeline, to my understanding. I could be wrong, but I think I saw basically what kicks off the first game. So that's my level of knowledge of Guilty Gear. We'll see probably in this first video what that is. But what I did read was really cool. It was really cool. It was like there were like 3 post-apocalyptic moments within before the first game, and I was like, that's insane. So let's get into this. So this is all for the intro. I'm probably gonna make this into like a proper video. Well, it's probably just gonna be the stream archive, but fuck it. Guilty Gear lore. Let's begin. So Again, check out these videos from Wooly versus. Also follow his second channel that they started recently, Wooly versus the Algorithm, where he uploads shorter videos. But Wooly and Reggie and Min and everyone in that channel is fantastic, so please do follow this channel. Alright, let's watch some Guilty Gear lore. So this is 1080p 60. I think the volume, yeah, 30%. Let's begin. There's subtitles too, so. Alright. I will say though, right at the beginning, is that I think I did hear that one of the people that was involved in the first video was someone that is probably not very well liked by the community, because I follow Wooly from a long time. I just haven't watched this video, but I do remember that when the first video came out in this series, people were like, one of the people that contributed to it wasn't that cool, and then Wooly apologized and was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. So I just want to bring that up. I'm just gonna completely ignore that. We're here for lore. All right, let's begin. Guilty Gear lore: Heaven or Hell, Duel 1. Timeline before Guilty Gear 1. Let's go.
Guilty Gear is a badass, beloved fighting game series that's been keeping it metal since 1998.
Oh yeah.
The gameplay, music, characters, and album cover stages are blazing with style that can be best described as...
Okay, yo, hold on a second.
Album cover stages.
Look at these stage. Because like, okay, so the only Guilty Gear games I played Strive, and that's really the only one, and I played a little bit of Exert, like a little bit of Rev 2, and by a little bit I mean like I bought it and I was like, cool, let's hit up like training mode and let's press some buttons, and then I was like, this game seems sick. I have no one to play it with, and and this game is dead online, so I'm not gonna be able to play it, so I didn't put that much time into it. I just literally booted it up. So my entire experience is Strive and a little bit of Exert. Look at this shit. I do have Accent Core plus R on Steam too. I do have it. I kind of want to check it out. Like, I would be down to try it out with some friends, but because like, look at this stage, man. I don't know from which title this is, but this looks so fucking sick. Come on. Okay.
Are blazing
it's just a fucking giant demon there being chained and shit. Yep.
Over the years, each new game gave us a glimpse into its world. But if you're like me, at some point you probably had this...
I remember this first trailer, because like this first trailer is... This is the first trailer for Exert, by the way. This trailer came out, and up until that point, Guilty Gear was like a 2D fighting game. And then they do this whole thing when they spin the camera. And because the game looks the way it does, you don't actually think it's 3D, and then it is. Fucking love Guilty Gear animation, man. This game looks so sick. Oh, I wanted to see the slash. Fuck, I love the bike and instant kill.
This is the coolest shit I've ever seen.
It's so fucking sick.
I have no idea what's going on. Nope, it's not just you. The newest game, Guilty Gear Strive, just around the corner. The desire to catch up on the lore before the next chapter begins.
Oh, that's very interesting. I'm gonna be doing a lot of like pausing, by the way, and talking. That's just the way I do things. That's very interesting. So this video series came out before Strive came out properly. The only footage there was and experience there was the beta. That's very interesting because Nagoriyuki's like Super is different in the release of the game, because there's like the whole like waves and shit that you see in the background in the full release version of the game, but this footage is from the beta when that wasn't there. So that's very interesting to see, actually.
Desire to catch up on the lore before the next chapter begins is real. There is a crazy amount of things happening in this story, in so many bits and pieces, spread across a collection of...
Dude, I want ABBA to get into Strive. I really like ABBA.
CDs, and yes, even pachinko machines.
Yeah.
That it's an almost unreasonable task to put the pieces together. Almost. I finally finished. I've done the legwork, and I found that one untranslated overture art book page containing that short story with the one important detail, so that you don't have to.
Thank you.
All my findings together into this timeline of events, double-checked it with the lore masters, and triple-checked it with that man himself. But before we strive, to understand revelations, signs, accent cores, midnight carnivals, and the missing links by your side.
Whatever the fuck's, right?
You first have to understand
Japanese
how the world
titles.
came to an end.
Which end?
Welcome to Heaven or Hell.
Yeah.
Heaven or hell. Get ready to rock.
Yeah. Duel 1. Timeline before Guilty Gear, the missing link. (1221 AD to 2180 AD. That's a long period of time. Okay, let's go. Sure. Okay, no, this is actually really funny. Look at this fucking timeline. Going back, going back, going back. Yep. Sure. Let's go.
Mankind has succeeded in achieving the dream of a natural, limitless energy supply. It was the dawn of the age of magic. It was the end of history. 1221 AD, the end of the Fifth Crusade of the Holy Roman Empire. An army of crusaders is massacred after failing to take Jerusalem. One knight almost escapes on horseback, but is hunted and killed with a volley of arrows. Awakening suddenly in a mysterious cage of mirrors and birds of prey, his body is pierced endlessly until he experiences the maximum human pain threshold before blacking out.
This is not how I thought the timeline would start. Let's go.
The knight reawakens in the world of the living, reborn in a pool of his own blood. Rejected by Valhalla, he finds that he can no longer age and no longer die.
Wait, hold on.
Valhalla. World of the
Rejected by Valhalla? They're Romans. Okay, I guess Valhalla is the actual... Alright, the Vikings were right, I guess.
finds that he can no longer age and no longer die.
Okay, so...
1945 AD.
So this character's probably going to be relevant.
After World War II, the United Nations is founded.
Sure.
1956 AD. The International Police Force is founded.
Okay.
1998 AD. A descendant of vampire lineage named Slayer exists in this world as the last of his kind.
Alright. Show him a vampire right there, right at the beginning. Sure. It is the last vampire, though.
He creates a secret society known as the Assassin's Syndicate.
Okay.
Its primary goal is to punish those outside of the law and to maintain social order by removal of corrupt leaders. They live by a code.
一つ自らの生死を臨機分かたず思考の拉致がいと置く必殺の意志
That's Takahito Kuyasu, by the way. Dio's voice actor. No matter how grim the situation, eliminating the target comes before all else, even preserving one's own life.
二つ
2. One must hone their skills so that killing comes as naturally as breathing.
その必殺の意志を形とする練り上げられた技術とその誇り三つ
It is not will, nor pride, nor victory, nor death that truly decides the battle.
基地にあって人を
Nor
動かし
it is nor is it the ability to manipulate or dominate others. The most important thing in life is, of course,
それがダンディズム
Dandism. Okay, cool. Let's go.
1999 AD.
That's it. That's all we got.
The dawn of revival.
So what I did read about the lore right at the beginning, 1999 is a crazy year.
December 31st
Yes.
at midnight, there was concern that a Y2K bug would lead to problems with old computers.
Yeah.
What wasn't expected, however, was all technology suddenly becoming erratic for hours, followed by an unknown entity attempting to manifest itself into reality. What was being birthed at this time is unclear, but all of humanity felt the coming of a divine will. Before this god could manifest, however, it suddenly and inexplicably stopped. Stricken with an innate fear that this was a near-extinction event, humanity would never trust in technology again. With this sudden technophobia came the decline of civilization, but in its darkest hour, mankind was saved by the arrival of the apostles.
Okay.
Emerging from parts unknown, 5 powerful mages arrive and bring hope in the form of knowledge. Humanity is introduced to the concept of magic,
Okay.
a limitless, clean source of energy that can be used to replace old reliance on technology.
So, sure. Yeah, so there's 5 apostles that come in and introduce magic to humans. Oh, let me do something I forgot to do with my with the stream. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so
Of energy.
So only thing I knew about this is the fact that in 99, like, the computers just fucking, like, all technology got taken by this universal will or whatever the fuck. And then that's beginning the age of magic, because this was an almost apocalyptic event. So it's very interesting to me. All of this about 5 apostles, powerful mages arrive, bring hope in the form of knowledge. Humanity is introduced to the concept of magic, a limitless, clean source of energy that can be used to
replace old reliance on technology.
Okay.
The apostles spend a decade teaching the ways of magic to all nations through their established organization, the Sanctus Maximus Populi.
I'm gonna forget this like right away. Who are these 5
newly
people?
formed global authority helps establish magic infrastructure across the whole world.
Okay.
And introduces the magic particle theory, or mana, to the sciences. The structure of magic can be assessed, researched, and practically applied to fuel everyday life. The old way of life can not only be resumed, but surpassed, and thus begins the Age of Magic. The UN formally declares that magic is the new standard and hereby bans all analog technology from being used, labeling it black technology, a concentrated effort to dismantle the remnants of old machinery and computers begins under the authority of the International Police Force. Not all nations are in compliance with the black tech contraband, however, as China initially rejects, but later joins.
Okay.
India, on the other hand, remains in disagreement and partially withdraws from the UN.
So, okay, so the only 2 nations that like rejected this ban on all analog technology is China, but then China joined anyway. However, India just straight up said fuck y'all and left.
The theory of magical science.
It's interesting though. So the entire world, they all forsake all technology, which makes sense after what happened. But within a decade, these 5 guys just showed up, taught magic to everybody. And so magic is so good in this world that you're able to do whatever the fuck you want, to the point that they were able to reestablish everything that they had lost and even achieve more. So this age of magic is actually insanely prosperous, right? Like, I was thinking that it probably wouldn't be after everything that was lost, but no, it's actually like really good. Okay. You're a magical
As the scientific method can be applied to magical phenomena, the continued study of its nature leads to a breakdown of magic into 6 known types.
Okay.
Fire, lightning, wind, water, light, and ki.
Hell yeah, that's my girl.
Most.
So, okay, we got elemental magic of types. Not really elemental, like the first 4 are elemental: fire, lightning, wind, water, and then light and
Human
ki.
beings are capable of using at least one type. Ki magic is notable in particular, as it is raw energy powered by the spirit of the individual. Though it is the basis for all other types, ki is the least understood and most difficult to use. Ultimately, the research of the apostles results in the provision of 660 spells fit for human use.
I will say though that I know that Wooly is a Baiken fan too, because he's a man of culture. So part of me is thinking, like, is he trying to hype up Baiken? Because I'm with him. So, okay.
6 are deemed unfit and are thus forbidden.
Ooh.
With their work done, the apostles take on a less active role by forming an advisory group known as the Conclave.
Okay, so 606 660 spells fit for human use, but 6 are deemed unfit and thus forbidden. Okay, so that leaves it to 654? Or is it, are we gonna go full edgy metal and say it's actually 666 minus 6, so 660? No, I think it's actually 654. So, but 6 are banned.
6 take on a less active role by forming an advisory group known
Then
as
the
Conclave.
apostles just
Eventually, they're no longer
becomes
seen
an
or
advisory
heard from
group,
in society.
and then they just disappear, I guess. Also, what am I looking at? What am I looking at? What are you showing me, Wooly? Okay.
2014 AD, the Gear Project begins.
Oh boy.
Originally called the Ecosystem Evolution Project, a group of scientists in a certain country under Vince McDonnell begin top-secret research into genetically altering and evolving humans on a cellular level, using the theory of magical science to fuse magic with DNA. It is theorized that through this method, mankind can advance to new heights. Though the country is not explicitly named, it is heavily implied to be the US.
Of course.
Moving forward, this assumption will be maintained.
Of course.
3 notable scientists are involved with the project: Frederick Bolsara, Aria Hale, and That Man.
I know who they are. Well, I don't know who that man is. I think I know what his name is. But I do know who the other 2 are. And it's wild. Okay, let's go.
The 3 met in college and became best friends, sometimes discussing philosophy. Frederick and Aria fall in love. Though he was originally assigned to research a powerful spell known as Saint Oratorio, Frederick was instead transferred to the Gear Project. 2015 AD. The development of gear cell theory is complete. That Man submits his findings to the US government under the conditions that 1. All data must be used peacefully and must not be weaponized.
So, all data must be used peacefully and must not be weaponized. 2. All staff must have their well-being guaranteed. And 3. These conditions must be made known to the public to assure continuing government compliance.
Must be made known to the public to assure continuing government compliance.
That man putting his foot
2016
down.
AD. Aria reveals that she's been diagnosed with an incurable illness 2 years prior. Her case is known as a TP infection and is terminal. Frederick and That Man divert all attention to finding a cure or a way to preserve her until one is found. But Aria has accepted her fate and stops them. She wants to live out her remaining days with Frederick. He continues searching for the cure, but ultimately fails. 2016 AD. The first gear is created. As the project begins to show progress, numerous countries develop an interest in the project's potential results and begin contributing towards its funding. After promising results are seen on animals, the first major human clinical trial begins. Fusing stabilized gear cells with human cells, a new life form called a gear is created. It is later learned that the first human gear test subject was in fact Frederick, and that the process was carried out by That Man. Upon his awakening, the entire facility is destroyed and the subject escapes.
I do wonder though. Well, I don't know if he's gonna tell me, but my question right now is whether or not. Well, I'm looking at this comic right here, right? And That Man seems to be pointing a gun at Frederick over here. I'm wondering though if this experiment was done against his will, or if it was all Okay, this is interesting though. Okay, so yes, That Man is pointing a gun at him, but if I look at That Man's face, you can't see my mouse, can you? I don't think you can see it. But so if you look at That Man's face, specifically his left eye, if you can see his left eye, it's like curved in a way that shows that he's like unsure or hesitant to pull the trigger. So it makes me think that he actually is not that evil or anything. This is more like a gear is like this creature that is kind of gone out of control, because again, it just said that the entire facility is destroyed. So it's like a beast. So That Man is like trying to stop him, but it's not something that he necessarily is like he fucked with him and he was like super evil or anything. Because all that we know about That Man so far is that he actually did put his foot down in trying to set up the rules so that the government wouldn't abuse of this project. So I do wonder if this was done with Frederick's consent here. I would assume that it would be, but like I want to know what the entire discussion was that led to this.
This results in the Gear project being shut down, with all files being classified.
Okay, so
A+.
Frederick escaped that.
All involved personnel disappear.
All involved
Shortly
personnel
after,
disappear,
Frederick
okay.
invents a gear cell suppressor device, allowing him to seal his true gear form. He develops it into a headband that he can wear at all times, allowing him to appear human. 2026 AD.
Okay.
India completes secret.
Wait, this is 10 years later then. I think this was 2016. Yes, so this is 10 years later. It's interesting that Frederick is able to, like... So, while being a gear, he's not like a beast. Like, he still has, like, a consciousness. Because he was smart enough and clever enough to be able to invent a device that would seal his gear form and appear human. So, okay. Okay, we're learning.
2026 AD.
Okay, India.
India
What's up?
completes
What are we
secret
doing?
construction on an Ultra Dreadnought class airship. In rejection of the Sanctus Maximus Populi, all those who embrace and preserve technology board the ship and formally declare their independence. Thus, the Imperial Empire of Zep is formed.
So, okay,
But
let's
it
bring
is
on.
done on the backs of a slave underclass.
Ooh,
2042 AD. The Gear project revived.
okay, we're moving really far away. But okay, so to my understanding, India just said, "Fuck y'all, technology rocks, is fucking sick. We're gonna create our own airship country, and we're gonna have technology there." So that I suppose that's it. Okay.
With the U.S. economy
But,
and political influence in steep decline, the government decides to revisit the Gear project, but this time expressly for military purposes.
Good old U.S.
2045 AD. That man rejoins the project under an alias.
I
The
see.
newly revived project quickly tries to produce a gear as a viable bioweapon. This fails due to an inability to control the gear life form. 2065 AD. The first combat-ready gear is completed. At this point, gear science has progressed significantly. While a gear is not a species in and of itself, many variant classes can be created depending on the species used as a source for the gear conversion process. These variations would be classified years later into types such as regular, toxic, flying, large, and more. Of note are types such as
Regular, toxic. I'm looking at some of these designs. Some of these look like Digimons, I'm gonna
toxic,
lie. Whatever the fuck is this?
flying,
I like this one. I like this sprite.
large,
Lord, that's just a turtle. That's just a tortoise.
and more.
I suppose, yeah, these are all gears made from animals, so...
Of note are city-sized gears, categorized as Megadeth
Wait. City-sized gears categorized as Megadeth class.
class,
Okay, that's
which
pretty
are
fucking...
capable of mass eradication of large populations.
That's fucked up,
A
but also
defining trait
that's...
of gears created based
kinda
on
metal.
animal DNA is that they continue to display sentience, and in rare instances, sapience as well. Their behavior is
Okay.
animalistic and instinct-driven. In accordance with the intended design, they do not possess their own individual wills or long lifespans. Mass production of militarized gears begins. Shipments are deployed
up.
to the nation's allies worldwide.
Before we move too far away from this, sorry, I keep pausing a lot. Like, we were at this like half an hour video for like I don't know, half an hour, but we've only been through a third of it. But I'm appreciating like the background for this. Look at this shit. This is the background. Like, there's a dude standing right there to the left. For comparison of size, this is the background. There's this giant fucking beast that look fucking diabolical. That looks so sick.
Possess their own individual will.
This one too. There's like a house or something that was built on top of this one. Oh, that's sick.
Or long lifespans. Mass production of militarized gears begins.
Okay,
Shipments
here
are
we go.
deployed to the nation's allies worldwide. Due to espionage and stolen data, other nations eventually begin producing their own gears as well. During this production process, however, numerous research facilities are sabotaged and destroyed by an unknown assailant. Authorities refer to the perpetrator of these attacks as Bad Guy.
Alright, let's go. Let's go.
Some years later, Frederick discovers that man's imminent design plans. He begins recovering information on the
Bad
Saint
Guy.
Oratorio project and uses it to create an anti-gear weapon known
Wait.
as the Outrage. Oratorio project.
This-
Man's imminent design plans. He begins recovering information on
The Saint Oratorio project. So that came back. I guess that's why you mentioned that.
the Saint Oratorio project and uses it to
An
create an
anti-gear
anti-gear
weapon.
weapon known as the Outrage.
The Outrage. Oh my god, these names.
Functions as a magic
So Japanese.
amplifier with no predetermined
Magic
limits on the
amplifier.
output of generated mana, potentially leading to global catastrophe if not regulated properly. Due to the danger of this power and the difficulty in handling it himself, Frederick subdivides the weapon into 8 components for safety, but deems the creation of this weapon necessary to preemptively prepare for the imminent creation of the first perfect gear. The culmination of that man's research and creations is complete. Command Class Gear 01, capable of injecting her programming into all other gear life forms and replacing their lack of will with her own. The power to control all gears, the US government names it Justice. Upon
course.
activation, for unclear reasons, Justice loses control and annihilates the entire island nation of Japan. On suspicions of his involvement in the catastrophe, that man is deemed a war criminal. Clearly designated as a threat to the planet, it is determined that Justice must be destroyed. Justice defends herself by rebelliously taking control of all gears and declaring war on humanity. Thus begins the
Fucked
100-Year
up.
War, known as the Crusades.
Here we go.
The Sacred Order of Holy Knights is founded by the UN as a force representing no country, fighting for all humanity.
So we would just within like 20 seconds, a lot of shit just happened. So the first perfect gears was created. First perfect gear was created. This perfect gear has control of all of the gears. It disintegrated all of Japan, all of it, and waged war on all of humanity for 100 years. And we're just gonna say that, and we're just gonna move on from that. Okay, that's a lot of shit that just happened.
War is declared on all gears.
All gears, including the city-sized one.
Most records of world history and events are lost to war. Though it isn't known how, the Order comes into possession of the Outrage components. Each is henceforth referred to as the 8 Sacred Treasures. The Fire Seal Sword, the Thunder Seal Sword, the Zessen Wind Fans, the Flashing Fan, the Dominator, Baikal, an unnamed dagger in Slayer's possession, and an unknown 8th component.
Okay, that's cool. So we actually get to see a couple of them.
8 Sacred Treasures.
So,
The Fire Seal
of course, Soul has one,
Sword, the Thunder
Kai has the other.
Seal Sword, the
I didn't know Angie Mito had, like, part of the god weapon,
Zessen
but
Wind Fans, the Flashing Fan.
I don't know what this is. This has, like, time in it. So that's an interesting design aspect of it. I wonder
The Dominator,
if that
Baikal,
has
an unnamed
deal
dagger in
with what
Slayer's
it does.
possession, and an unknown 8th component. A secretive government organization that will eventually be known as the Post-War Administration Bureau is created as a deterrent against criminal activity. They are responsible for creating an international bounty hunting system and work
Okay.
alongside the IPF, and less publicly, the Assassin's Guild. Though records of what took place during the Crusades are lost, the names of some notable individuals are known. 2093 AD, Cliff Undersen is born in Switzerland. At a young age,
Look at
he's
this
nearly
badass.
killed by a gear, but is saved by a mysterious stranger. From that day, he's inspired to do the same for others, and joins the ranks of the Holy Order. Through distinguished service, he earns the position of Commander. 2120 AD, a Megadeth class gear, Hydra,
I'm sorry, but just saying a Megadeth class gear Hydra is just so badass.
destroys London. Cliff
Oh,
single-handedly
London's gone. Okay,
fights
cool.
the Megadeth
Fuck the
for
British.
7 consecutive
Wait,
days.
shit.
Cliff single-handedly fights the Megadeth for 7 consecutive days and nights with his sword, the Dragon Slayer.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Like, everything you just said in the past 5 seconds is so fucking
Cuts
cool.
off 3 of its heads and defeats it long enough for the Order's reinforcements to
Oh
arrive
my
and
God.
seal it away. Years later, a village is built atop its dormant body.
Oh my god.
2127 AD. Cliff eventually adopts a son and names him Testament. Despite being a kind-hearted pacifist, Testament joins the Order against Cliff's wishes in hopes of one day becoming a knight worthy of succeeding his father. During an undisclosed mission, Testament is reported killed in action. Though his body is never officially found, it is later learned that the Post-War Administration Bureau obtained the remains and subjected them to a number of experiments, including an unknown gear conversion and revival process. Upon awakening, as a means of testing combat ability, he is forced to kill former Sacred Order allies. Shortly after this, like all other...
Looking a little bit androgynous there, gotta say. You know, good for them. You know, I know what happens in the future. Good for them. I'm happy for them. I love their new design.
all other gears, his mind is dominated by justice. 2140 AD. Cliff is forced to fight the gear that was once his son and mortally wounds him.
Oh, cool. We just get to see match footage here. Destroyed. Yeah,
Forces
Buffalo
the
Man.
Post-War Administration Bureau to shut down all gear experimentation.
I like to think that he single-handedly forced them to stop. He bursts into the fucking main door, shirt off, buff as fuck, going, "What the fuck are y'all doing? I'm gonna kill you all!"
They appear to do so.
They appear to do
After
so.
attempts to use gears against each other ends in disaster, the Post-War Administration Bureau researches alternative anti-gear weaponry using the 6 forbidden magics. This results in the creation of 6 parasitic bioweapons known as the Forbidden Beasts. Gears are noted to
that
strangely
Melia?
respond to them as instinctual enemies. While generally effective in suppression, the unsustainable nature of these bioweapons requires their hosts to not only sacrifice something great to incubate and wield them, but eventually sacrifice themselves to the beasts, ultimately, once they awaken. During the war, Cliff fights justice 16 times.
Wait, hold on. I was gonna go back to like go over the beast or whatever again, but Cliff fought justice 16 times and lived. Yeah, we need to get this old man in here. This old man is a fucking badass. Like, holy fuck. Because this is not a character you know anything about. But then this lore is telling me about it, and it's like, yeah, he's the best. Like, holy fuck. Okay, but let's go back here. So after Cliff stops them from using gear experimentation to try and stop the other gears, then I don't know what the name of the group is. The Administration Bureau. They tried to search for forbidden magics. No, for using the 6 elemental magic things, and trying to find a way to create super powerful weapons that way in order to defeat the gears and justice. So it is the creation of 6 parasitic bioweapons known as the Forbidden. That might be Milia actually, because it's the hair. And it's a blonde girl.
Respond to them
I
as
don't know.
instinctual
So it could be this Angra. Let me forbidden binding 6 dark law hair organism Angra. Yeah, that could be Milia. And then we got Eddie,
but eventually
which is Sato's creature.
sacrifice themselves to the sacrifice.
What does this say though? I wasn't paying attention to that. Gears are noted to strongly respond to them as instinctual enemies. While generally effective in suppression, the unsustainable nature of these bioweapons requires their hosts not only sacrifice something great to incubate and wield them, but eventually sacrifice themselves to the beast, ultimately once they awaken.
Fucked
up.
They awaken. During the war, Cliff fights Justice 16 times to a standstill.
Oh my god,
Neither
this
one
old man.
is able to defeat the other.
Evenly matched.
2162 AD. A mother is killed in a gear attack on France.
His music slaps,
leaving
by the
behind
way.
a boy named Kai Kiske.
Hell yeah.
Months later, during another gear attack, Cliff and his young partner Tyr find Kai wandering the battlefield as a lone war orphan, surviving on instinct. Cliff asks what a child is doing in a place like this. Kai replies that his parents are dead and that he wants to fight instead of running away. He had been wandering alone for nearly 6 months. Cliff gives Kai an imperative: survive the next 5 years, then return to him if he still wishes to fight Gears.
Whoa.
2167 AD. Kai Kiske joins the Sacred Order of Holy Knights.
So I remember reading like a Tumblr post that was like, Guilty Gear succeeded in making everyone think that like Soul Bad Guy is like a fucking badass, while Kai Kiske is like a fucking nerd. When in reality, Soul Bad Guy is actually a fucking scientist, and Kai Kiske is actually a fucking giga chat that joined the military from a very early young age. And it's like, not only that, he was a war orphan, and when his parents died, he lived by himself for 6 months fighting gears and shit, and surviving the war. And the moment he sees the Crusade people and sees Cliff, he's like, fucking let me join in. And then the dude was like, go and live by yourself for 5 years and then come back. And he's like, done.
By age 14,
14?
Kai has quickly become a prodigy swordsman and displays mastery of lightning magic. By age 15, he is promoted to the rank of captain and has earned the respect and admiration of his fellow knights.
Like, holy
Sometime
shit.
later, a mission goes wrong and an entire platoon is killed by a gear, save for Kai. Traumatized and racked by survivor's guilt, he etches the word hope into his buckle to remind himself that nothing in this world can be done without hope.
Also just because it's a rat design aspect.
Slayer retires from the Assassin's Guild in disgust as it no longer upholds his founding principles.
Huh.
Rumors spread of an unknown lone wolf bounty hunter out in the battlefield, destroying gears ruthlessly on his own. Slayer eventually meets this bounty hunter and finds himself impressed by the passion burning like a sun in his path. Slayer decides to give him the nickname Sol. Brash, unrefined, and antisocial, Sol's reputation for destroying gears en masse precedes him. Cliff recognizes this as the man who saved him in his childhood and spares no expense tracking him down to recruit him to the Holy Order.
Okay, so yes, it is confirmed. The person that saved Cliff when he was a kid was Soul Bad Guy. Also, the fact that this is how his name came to be, you know, when he was fucking shit up and stuffing the projects, they called him Bad Guy, and then this fucking vampire meets him, and he's like, damn, his passion burns like the sun. I'm gonna call him Soul. And then he's like, yeah, my name is Soul Bad Guy. Like, oh my god.
As Sol appears to only
That's
be
such a,
interested in
like,
destroying gears, he accepts.
Japanese silly ass name.
2172 AD.
Okay, so then Cliff finds him and recruits him to the order. So he joins the Sacred Order of Holy Knights. Interesting. Considering he's a lone wolf, it's interesting that he joins
the
this
Sacred Order of
order.
Holy Knights.
Oh my god, look at him.
Despite joining,
when proper
often
clothing and
disobeys the
shit.
chain of command, preferring to do things his own way. Fellow
Sure.
knights treat him with little more than ill will. Despite initially being impressed seeing Kai in action the first time, their clashing personalities and ideals just aren't compatible. In a symbolic rebellion against Kai and his rigid orders, Sol etches the word free into his buckle. Other knights, inspired by this and Kai's hope, begin following suit with their own words. One such example.
Okay, so fuck, it's coming back to me. Because in Strive, when you look at the menus, like in the menu bars, you can see that the words hope and free show up. And I remember looking at those words and I'm like, what do they mean? Like, are we just throwing random cool sounding words? Japanese people? Like, is that what we're doing? Because, you know, I'm a Metal Gear fan. And like, there's a lot of like Japanese games and shit that just throw cool English sounding words. And I'm like, I love it. But like, is there a reason? There is a reason. Kai is hope. and Soul is free. Oh my god.
Is the word pride etched into the buckle of the
Oh my god. Of course, Leo has pride. Anyone else from the Order has another word? Is there any other character I know from the Other?
Leo Whitefang. 2173 AD. Kai challenges Soul to a duel.
Oh damn.
Soul accepts.
Fight. Oh, see, match footage. Let's go.
道を飽きるかくたばる
During the duel, it becomes clear to Soul that Kai is holding back, fighting Soul as if he were human. Kai loses. Thinking that he did not take the fight seriously, Soul is insulted. 2173 AD. The Battle of Rome. In response to a distress signal, Kai commands a fleet of airships on a rescue mission to the blitzed city of Rome, currently under siege by a massive army of gears. Overrun, the knights call for retreat, but Kai remains steadfast, knowing that there's more survivors that can be saved. Soul arrives just in time to save Kai from succumbing to his fate. After their retreat, Soul encounters Justice alone and is soundly defeated. Amused by this reckless human, however, Justice spares his life. Realizing his weakness, Soul decides to steal the Fire Seal and quit the Order. Kai attempts to stop him in the act, but is beaten again. Before he leaves, Cliff confronts Soul, but sends him off with a blessing, saying that he intended to give Soul the sword anyway. Cliff then tells Kai to keep this incident a secret, and decides to entrust the future to these two. Thinking of them and confronting guilt over the child soldiers that have been used in this war, Cliff decides to step down from his position, giving 16-year-old Kai Kiss leadership of the Order and the Thunder Seal.
Wait, he was 16 at this point? I thought he was an adult. I thought he was like at least like in his 20s, like mid-20s. This kid's a decade younger than I am. And what the fuck am I doing with my life? Like, because of the artwork that you see him in, and because he has such like ideals and reputation, and he fights Soul and shit, and also the artwork, like I'm seeing the artwork and he looks older, so I'm just sitting here like, oh, he's in his 20s. He's fucking 16. What the fuck am I doing here, man?
2175 AD. The final battle. The 17th and final battle between Cliff Underson and Justice begins, but this time, with the help of successor Kai Kisk and the Thunder Seal, they're able to drive her back. A weakened Justice retreats, but before she can escape, Soul Bad Guy appears before her again, now wielding the Fire Seal. As they fight, Justice realizes that the man standing before her is a gear and attempts to control him. It fails. In rage, she calls him a traitorous flame of corruption. Soul unleashes said flames, incapacitating her long enough for the remaining knights of the Holy Order to flank and use a post-war administration bureau developed sealing spell to lock her in a dimensional prison. Without a command gear, the remaining gear army goes completely dormant immediately. The Crusades are over.
Whoa, is that how it came to end?
2177 AD. The post-Holy War era.
Entering another era.
Damage has left the post-Crusade world almost entirely unrecognizable. Various areas have become stateless no man's land. The remains of the EU and Russia consolidate to form the United Kingdom of Illyria. The country that was originally the source of all gear production is decimated. There are survivors, but most cities are in complete ruin. Production.
The country that was originally the source of all gear production is decimated. The United States is done. All right.
The government exists, is heavily in the...
There are survivors, most cities are in complete ruins. What government exists is heavily in the pocket of the Assassin's Guild. Ooh, interesting.
The pocket of the Assassin's Guild, which has risen to political aspirations and is also in possession of a number of forbidden beasts.
Yep, that's the two that I know.
All remaining destroyed or stateless areas are placed under jurisdiction of the UN's International Police Force, with the exception of South Africa. At this point, the Post-War Administration Bureau is officially deployed to undo as much global damage as possible. The surviving Japanese people are placed into colonies, protected by magic barriers and guarded by the IPF, with a no-entry, no-exit policy. The Sacred Order of Holy Knights is disbanded.
I like this stage here. Like, the surviving Japanese people are placed in the colonies protected by magic barriers and guarded by the IPF with no entry or exit policy. Okay, so whatever remains of the Japanese are being placed in their own little zones, and no one can go there or exit there. That's, oh my god, they're literally like preserving Japanese people like animals in a zoo. Like that's very interesting because remember, Justice literally destroyed the entire country of Japan. Like, gone. Literally a crater in the ocean, just decimated. Which is interesting. So like every surviving Japanese person is probably a Japanese person that was like overseas at the time. Wait, when did that happen? So this is 2177 AD. So the war is 100 years. So yeah, over the last 100 years, the only Japanese people that remain are descendants of the Japanese people that I guess were overseas when this happened. So
Kai, unable to adjust to normal life, joins the IPF. Cliff retires, leaving Holy Order days behind him for good. He does not stop martial arts training, however, and eventually becomes the first non-Japanese person to use and master ki magic.
oh, so Ki's almost exclusively a Japanese people thing. Okay.
2180 AD. The Missing Link.
Okay, this sounds interesting. Oh, is this a game? Is this when the game starts? Yeah. Dude, this fucking intro. When did this game come out?
5 years after the Crusades, a rumor starts going around the population. Justice will return. World leaders determined this to be a credible threat, evidenced by the unexpected erosion of the walls within Justice's dimensional prison. With great concern, the UN announces the Second Sacred Order Selection Tournament, an event to find the most capable recruits for the Second Sacred Order of Holy Knights, those that will stand ready should Justice ever return. There are strange rules to the tournament, however. Incarcerated criminals and even children are permitted entry. Bloodshed was allowed, but strangest of all was the champion's prize, a single wish, any wish at all. The tournament begins.
Okay, well, hold on. With great concern, the UN announces the Second Sacred Order Selection Tournament, an event to find the most capable recruits for the Second Sacred Order of Holy Knights, those that will stand ready should justice ever return. There are strange rules in the tournament, however. Incarcerated criminals and even children are permitted entry. Bloodshed was allowed, but strange of all was the champion's prize. A single wish, any wish at all. Okay. So that's sus. That's really sus. Like, that's like, the UN probably didn't make this. It was probably Justice. Or something. I don't know. That's really sus. Also, this is a very like fighting game like plot here. You know, we're making a tournament, and only the strongest can join. And then you get this fighting game where you have this entire like tournament of the strongest, and they fight each other, and yeah, it's like a very Mortal Kombat thing. But this is sus. This is very sus. You know, we're trying to find the strongest fighters to fight Justice. You can all kill each other, though. So, okay, let's see.
Many of the strongest fighters of the post-war era are attracted to the event, each in search of their own truths. Dr. Baldhead. When a little girl dies on his operating table, a disgraced doctor from China snaps and becomes a serial killer. However, once he learns that the patient was killed in a conspiracy to steal his research into resurrection healing, he takes on a new identity to save as many lives as possible. May.
Isn't he Faust? I think he's Faust. I didn't know his name was Dr. Ballhead originally. When a little girl dies on his operating table, a disgraced doctor from China snaps and becomes a serial killer. However, once he learns that the patient was killed in a conspiracy to steal his research into resurrection healing, he takes on a new identity.
He takes on a new identity to save
as many lives as possible. That's very interesting.
May.
Didn't know that.
A secretly Japanese sky pirate
I also didn't know she was
are
Japanese.
reunited with their jailed captain, Johnny Sporty. They soar the skies in Mayship,
Mayship.
a black tech airship from Zep. Potemkin. a powerful
Hey, yeah,
slave
yeah.
warrior of Zep, is freed by his sergeant, Gabriel. Together, they successfully rise up and overthrow the oppressive noble class in full revolt, bringing
Yeah.
democracy to Zep.
Hell yeah. They busted the shit out of those nobles.
Xanov,
Chip.
an American war orphan and dealer for the Assassin's Guild.
The most American name of all, Chip Sanov. What the fuck is that name?
When his drug dealing turned to drug abuse, the guild
Okay.
sends a ninja, Tsuyoshi, to kill the boy. Unable to do so, Tsuyoshi, actually a double agent for the IPF, trains Chip to escape his demons by turning to the way of the ninja. When
Oh my
his
God.
master is in turn assassinated by the guild for betrayal, Chip is nearly consumed by his desire for revenge, but finds solace in the teachings that saved his life.
Hell yeah. Weave. He's a weave.
Milia Rage. From Russia,
Oh, yeah.
a trained assassin from childhood, found and forced to wield the forbidden beast Angra after escaping
Yeah,
from an
okay.
abusive relationship with Zato I and deserting the guild that
Oh.
forced this life upon her.
I
She
wonder
is
if it's
determined to
related to
destroy both, but is wounded during her fight with Zato. Zato I loses control of his power and escapes.
So,
Her fight with Zato.
okay.
Zato I loses control of his power and escapes. Zato
Zato
I
I.
from Spain.
Oh, he's Spanish. I didn't know that. Damn. Okay.
The new ruthless leader of the Assassin's Guild, strays from Slayer's original
Oh, he's the
Assassin's
leader of the
Guild
Assassin's Guild.
in favor of money, political influence, and manipulation. Responsible for the death of Dr. Baldhead's patient, he sacrificed his sight for the forbidden beast Eddie, who has now consumed him whole. Axel
Okay.
Lowe, an English pacifist born in the 20th century that suddenly finds himself slipping through time from 1998 to 2178 for unclear reasons. Forced to leave his girlfriend behind, Axel searches for a way home, but has no idea where his next time slip will lead.
So, I did know that about Axel Lowe, like where he comes from. That's really funny though. That's really fucking funny. He's just some English boy from what? From 1998. My man was out here like listening to Guns N' Roses and shit. I mean, look at him, right? And suddenly he just warps like 200 years into the future, and he's like, "Hey, yo, what? What? What the what? What the fuck is the gear? What's the justice? Yo, what is the Imperial Sep? Wait, where's London? There's a Hydra. We built a town on top of a Hydra? Yo, what? Oh my god. This kid is so lost. I do want to know for how long he's been here, though, in 2178. I do want to know that. I'm kind of hoping he's been here for like a week, and he's like, hey, yo, what? He's just confused. Also, how does he know how to fight? They say he's a pacifist. Okay, this is interesting. All right,
For a way home,
let's
has
hit the-
no idea where his next time slip
Let's
will
go.
lead.
Best character. Let's go.
Viking, a Japanese swordswoman raised in the colonies. She lost an arm, an eye, and both parents to a gear attack at a young age, but remembers the image of that man surrounded by flames and his gear creations on that night. From that day, she sought vengeance. Though she does not enter the tournament, she uncovers the truth about it and is currently wanted for escaping from the colonies.
So she lost an arm, an eye, and both parents to a gear attack at a young age, but remembers the image of that man surrounded by flames and his gear creations on that night. That's interesting. So, as a Viking player myself, I did know that she wants, like, her motivator is wanting revenge on that man. I didn't know that though. So she just straight up saw that man with gears on the night that all the bad shit happened. Okay, that's interesting though. I'm very curious about. So that man is a mystery right now, right? Because it's a lot of shit that happened in the universe because of that man, but that man has remained completely mysterious, so I can't say what his deal is yet. So this is very interesting.
From that day,
also that man is still around, by the way. This is 2180. Sorry, I hit the mic for a second, but this is 2180. That man has been around for 100 years now, over 100 years. I'm more of a hell person myself. What's up, Rappy? How are you doing? Heaven or hell? I get you.
she sought vengeance. Though she does not enter the tournament,
She does not enter the tournament. She uncovers the truth about it and is currently wanted for escaping from the colonies. Good-io. I'm glad, dude. I'm watching Guilty Gear lore because I like Guilty Gear and I want to know about its lore. And this is taking a long time because they keep stopping the video just to talk about shit. So she's not part of the tournament, by the way. She just learned about it and showed up.
about it and is currently wanted for escaping from the colonies.
Alright, let's go.
Sole Bad Guy
Yeah.
burns his way through all the competition to the finals, where
Burns
it
his
is
way
revealed
to
that
the
the
whole-
entire tournament is a lie orchestrated by Testament, Cliff's adopted
That's
son.
oh shit!
Somehow, he is survived by an unseen hand. Unlike most mindless dormant gears, Testament recovered his memories after confronting his father, but his mind was still under her influence. He needed one final sacrifice of the strongest warrior in order to break the seal and reawaken justice into this world once again.
I don't know anything about Guilty Gear. Well, you arrived like 50 minutes too late, because if you had arrived 50 minutes earlier, you would have seen everything from the beginning. I can try and do a recap for you though. So we're in 2180. Like 200 years ago, humanity, all technology in the world got hijacked and fucked up, and then humanity adapted to a new age of magic because 5 wizards showed up and they said, hey, we know magic and magic is fucking sick. And then humanity just adapted to magic and a new prosperous age started. Then the United States decided to use magic to create human weapons called gears. And then they started using those weapons to conquer countries and shit. And then one of those weapons, called Justice, just destroyed Japan, just annihilated all of it, just fucking disintegrated all of them. And then said, hey, all gears are declaring war on humanity now. Also, I can control all gears in the world. So Justice is its own independent gear, hates all humans and wants to kill all of them. And that started a 100-year war between humans and gears. So we're now post-apocalyptic. 100-year wars between magical humans versus artificial magical entities called gears. And for 100 years, they just fought and killed and fought each other. The entire world is fucked up at this point. And until one day, 3 super powerful dudes, Soul Bad Guy, Kai Kisk, and Cliff, they got like super power weapons, and they all fought Justice and sealed her away. And now Justice is locked in a different dimension. And now we're a couple years after that happened. And there is a tournament that the United Nations made in order to find powerful warriors to fight Justice whenever she breaks free, because it appears that she's about to break free. But now we're learning that Testament is actually the person that was orchestrated the entire tournament. And Testament is Cliff's son, which is the leader of the human resistance that fought Justice a couple years back. And we thought he was dead, but he was also experimented on, and he doesn't have a will in order to do shit, I think. I'm not sure. So he's a very complex character right now. Also, one of the scientists that created the gears, and also the first gear, is Soul Bad Guy. He's the main character. And now he hates all gears and wants to stop them. And he's just cool. And his name is literally Soul Bad Guy. And now it seems that Soul Bad Guy is about to fight Testament or something. This is Soul Bad Guy, by the way.
To
this
the
guy.
finals, where it is revealed that the entire is survived by an unseen hand. Unlike most mindless dormant gears, Testament recovered his memories after confronting his father, but his mind was still under her influence. He needed one final sacrifice of the strongest warrior in order to break the seal and reawaken justice into this world once again.
So Testament remembers his life. He remembers who he is, but he doesn't have any control over what he does. It's still under Justice's influence. So Justice is still controlling what the fuck he's doing. He looks like a Digimon, the soul bad guy. A little bit. Not gonna lie. Earlier in this video, I was looking at some designs and I was like, this things look like Digimons, honestly.
Soul defeats him, but in his defeat, Testament realizes that he may still serve her, in the end by using his own blood as a sacrifice to open the dimensional prison.
Oh!
Justice is once again unleashed upon the world.
Right.
Soul and Justice fight.
Hell yeah.
During the
Match
battle,
footage.
Soul's headband is ripped off, revealing
Ooh.
a magical seal on his forehead that is identical to the one shared by all gears. Justice, seeing this, is perplexed as she once again is unable to control his mind. Soul reveals that the reason he cannot be controlled
What is the
is
reason?
because even though Justice is a Type 01 command class gear, he is the prototype gear.
Okay, yeah. It's just because he's the first one. So, Justice gonna control the first one, the prototype one. What's his name? He looks basically exactly like one. I just can't remember. Like he does, but I can't. Like it's not War Greymon. It's like, I mean, a little bit. Fuck. Like it's a red fire creature. It's not Dukemon or Gallanmon, and it's not Dukemon Crimson Mode. Which one is it? It's not Belzebumon. It's close because it looks cool and shit, but I don't know. We'll figure that shit out later. We're not here to talk about Digimon.
That all others were based on. He was Frederick Bolsara. With a massive
Yes,
explosion, Justice is defeated, leaving nothing but a shell behind.
Cool. That's it?
With her dying words, Justice says that she wishes the three of us could talk again one last time. Realizing that Justice is connected to his past, Soul Bad Guy swears that he's going to kill that man, betrayer of his own kind and slayer of his own kin. Soul Bad Guy is the guilty gear.
Yes, he is. He is the guilty gear. Oh my god. That's so good. That's so good. That's the first video. That's the first video. Easy clap. Title drop. I know. It's so good. Anyway, I'm not super experienced with Digimon. Don't worry. I am, but I don't know exactly which one we're talking about here. I grew up with Digimon, but now we're talking about Guilty Gear here, though. Soul Bad Guy is the Guilty Gear. So, okay, here's this thing right here at the end. Right here at the end. I do know what this means, though.
To kill.
With her dying words, Justice says that she wishes the three of us could talk once again. I do know what this means, though, because I read it on the wiki. Like, I know very little things about the Guilty Gear universe, more tied to the early parts of it. I do know what this is. Justice is Arya. Justice is Arya Hale, which is Soul's lover from like 100 years ago. And that man used Arya's dying body in order to create Justice. So what this means is Soul realizes that this is Arya, and then he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill that fucking piece of shit, that man, for whatever the fuck he did. Which makes sense. And now he's the guilty gear because he killed his lover, I guess. The fact that Wooly just said Soul Bad Guy is the guilty gear, it's so fucking stupid, and I love it. I love it. It's so fucking cool. This is the most stupid Japanese shit ever. I love it. What time is it, by the way? 11:46. I've been streaming for over an hour, and I just finished watching this half-an-hour video. I'll be back in a sec. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm going to the second video, by the way. But okay. Sure, that was the first video. Once again, thank you, Woolly Versus, for this wonderful video. So, okay, first, you know what I want to do, real quick, real quick. I'm realizing that I was thinking of like, because all the videos I want to watch is like an hour and a half, and I was like, oh, I can do all of this in one stream. I'm not gonna be able to do all of this in one stream because I keep pausing and talking like an asshole. So now this is gonna take a couple streams, but okay, I had this thing here. I have a notepad. Oh yeah, I do. So what happened in this first video? What happened in the first timeline? So oh yeah, a Roman dude died and revived in like 1227 or something like that. I don't think that came back, but we'll write it down just to try and remember. So then in 1999, Y2K actually happened. Hijacked by God or whatever. Yeah, sure. I don't remember the exact years. This is when it starts getting confusing. Like something happened in this ages, eras, whatever. Okay, sure, whatever. 5 wizards showed up and brought magic. The world is good now cause of magic. US starts creating magical weapons, gears. Frederick, Arya, and that man work on gears. Arya is dying. Frederick becomes the first gear. That man later time skip. The US brings back the gear project. Actually, this is when they start weaponizing them. Like here, here's just a project. It starts creating gears. The gear project for military purposes. That man comes back. That man creates justice. Justice destroys Japan. 100-year gear versus human war. This is a lot to recap in just one video. A lot happened, by the way, but I'll try not to get lost in the specifics. I'm back. Hello, Rappy. I'm trying to do a recap of everything that happened in this one video, just real quick. Frederick becomes so bad guy. Don't worry about what I just wrote. Soul creates 8 parts of a mega weapon or whatever. They use them to seal justice away. Testament starts a tournament to lure main characters in, I guess. Sorry, that's probably not exactly what happened, but that's kind of what happened. And then Soul wins it, and I mean Testament opened the door, I remember that, but we don't have to write that down. And turns out justice is Arya. So vows revenge on that man. I love that his name is That Man. It's so stupid. And also, so bad guy becomes the Guilty Gear. There we go. That's what happened in the first video. This is all that happened in the first video. This is great. This is a great recap right here. So, hey, this is good. This is a good first recap. I like it. So I'm gonna save this file later. Okay. So, wait, his name is That Man? I thought they just didn't know his name. I don't know if his name is That Man or not, but that's the name everyone refers him as. I don't know if his name is That Man, but that's what everyone calls him. So, I don't know. Okay, fuck it. Let's go. Episode 2. This is 21 minutes. Hopefully we'll do it faster than the first video. Alright, let's go. Let's go. I'm trying to drip myself out in Animal Crossing. Dude, I want to play Animal Crossing so bad. I do. Like, I've been wanting to play Animal Crossing since it came out, but like it's too expensive. Nintendo games are mad expensive, and especially for me because I live in Argentina and our economy sucks. But like, and of course they never go on sale because Nintendo sucks. But dude, I would love to play Animal Crossing because I would spend so much time trying to drip myself out too. Because I really love just customizing shit and making things look pretty. Bro, the one thing I'm good at is fashion in Animal Crossing. I would spend so much time in fashion, not gonna lie. Okay, Guilty Gear!
Hello and welcome back to Guilty Gear Lore, Heaven or Hell. I've received a tremendous amount of helpful feedback on episode 1, and I want to thank everyone who reached out. The excitement to learn more about the world of Guilty Gear is real.
Yeah.
Thanks to those of you that sent in corrections as well. Keep your eye on the description below, where we'll be listing extra notes pertaining to each episode from now on.
Oh, really?
Thanks again to
There were
Arc System Works
corrections?
for sponsoring the video and verifying every detail. And remember, the latest chapter of this story is coming soon, with Guilty Gear Strive arriving in April 2021. So without further ado, let's keep this thing moving.
Bro, if you haven't played Guilty Gear Strive, it's such a good game. I heavily recommend Guilty Gear Strive. Like, if you were ever interested in a fighting game, then Guilty Gear Strive is a great starting point. So if you look at it and it looks cool to you, then you should give it a shot. Guilty Gear Strive is so fucking good. I've been playing it a ton, that's why. Let's go. Heaven or hell.
Get ready to rock.
I like the NPC label. I don't know anything about Animal Crossing.
The year 2180. Justice is defeated. Many of the remaining gears, now leaderless, have become dormant.
Ooh.
Others are hunted down and eliminated. Mankind was finally free from the catastrophic menace brought on by the gears. Before Soul destroys Justice, Kai Kisk confronts her about her evil ways. With a simple rebuttal, Justice explains that she was made by man to kill man, and thus she is merely fulfilling her moral purpose while surviving. From the perspective of a gear, her actions are utterly unclouded. They're all those of justice.
Did my man just drop a JoJo reference? Justice, ironic name. Yes. My man just dropped a JoJo reference. That's what he did. He just dropped a falling Valentine on me. Wooly, I know what the fuck you're doing. And he said it with a straight face, too. That's just a JoJo reference. That's just a funny Valentine. He picked up the napkin first! Justice picked up the napkin first. And then she killed all humans.
Perspective of a gear,
I love
her
that.
actions are utterly unclouded. They're all those of justice. Unable to respond, Kai's rigid sense of righteousness fails him for the first time. The idea that perhaps there was no single truth that governed everything would leave him questioning his convictions even many years later.
That's cool. I like that. I mean, I have to remind myself that Kai Kisk is like 17 years old at this point or something. Like, he's really young. And then it obtained Jesus. Yeah. Which part though? God, I love Steel Battle Grind. It's so fucking stupid. Yo, have you been watching the new episodes of Stone Ocean that just came out? I watched 2 of them this morning, and then I got busy. But now I'm here. But the new Stone Ocean episodes just dropped. I watched the first 2. They're good. The animation's great. Okay, I'm getting distracted again. Let's go. Let's watch Guilty Gear. But dude,
2180 AD. Cliff Anderson dies during
No!
the Second Holy Order tournament.
No! Fuck! I'll watch it when it all comes out. I'm more excited for part 9. Okay, sure, that makes sense. I haven't read the manga for part 8. I just read part 7, and it was a while ago, so I don't remember everything. Yeah, sure, that makes sense, waiting until it all comes out. I've been watching the chunks. Yo, Cliff died! Fuck! Man. I'm sad now. Like, I was like, well, it's a fighting game, so they can just bring characters back for whatever reason if they want to. But like, I want to see the old man come in. Prayers. Dude, this old man is such a fucking badass, dude. This old man fought justice 16 times across 100 years and never lost. And then the 17th time, they beat her. This old man is fucking rad. This old man was a fucking Chad. And now I'm sad because I didn't know that he actually died in the timeline, so. He died during the tournament, so.
Valiant to the end, Cliff's final return to battle shows his mastery of ki at such a degree that it could temporarily de-age his body, allowing him to fight in his prime.
He learned soul magic so good that he de-aged himself for like a little bit just to fight at peak performance. Oh my god,
His
this old
death is
man.
mourned by those closest to him.
It is more by me. Damn.
A Japanese man named Kuro Kuruwaba works as a branch chief for the Post-War Administration Bureau.
This guy looks evil.
Operating in the shadows, the organization has been gathering deep intel on everyone and everything it can. Using combat data from Kai Kisk, Crow creates an imitation series soldier unit known as Robo-Kai.
I'm sorry, that's silly. That's really silly. That's really silly. I've heard of Robo-Kai before. I didn't know that it was like a thing. I didn't know that it was like a real thing in the lore. They play this so seriously. Yeah, this evil guy created Robo-Kai. Alright, sure. Wait, so works as branch chief of the Post-War Administration Bureau. You bring the shadows of your organization. Yeah, sure. It creates Robo-Kai. Sure, man.
The Zessen outrage component goes missing.
Oh.
The Zessen wind fans, a relic of the Crusades,
Well, I know
had been
where they went
located
from.
inside of a Japanese colony until their recent disappearance at the hands of Anji Mito,
Yeah.
a now missing Japanese colonist. He appears to be only motivated by sheer curiosity and wanderlust.
I kind of like Angie, honestly.
After the Crusades,
Not a
group
character I
of
would play,
surviving
but I
years
kind of like
that were
the
able to exist independently
carefree
of
attitude.
justice
He seems
secretly
chill.
gather away from human eyes.
Here, yeah.
They isolate themselves on an island known as the Ganymede Archipelago. Uninterested in humanity, but entirely interested in research, the leader of this group manages to access and observe an alternate world parallel to our own. It will come to be known as the Backyard.
Yo, I sat up for like 10 seconds. What the fuck did you just say? After the Crusades, a group of surviving gears that were able to exist independently of justice secretly gather away from human eyes, isolate themselves on an island known as the Ganymede Archipelago. Uninterested in humanity but entirely interested in research, the leader of this group manages to access and observe an alternate world parallel to our own. It will come to be known as the Backyard. Okay, so surviving gears that are not under control of justice anymore isolate themselves. They focus on researching life, and they just find a parallel world. Alright, sure, I'll believe it. The backyard against lore. Oh my god. I will say, I'm not gonna lie to you, I did read a little bit of the backyard on the wiki already. Like, my knowledge of Guilty Gear lore is like very limited, but what I do know, I feel like I understood it because I read it over and over because I was like, what the fuck is going on?
2181 AD, the Placard Company incident.
Okay, this is a year later.
Near London, in the village built atop the Hydra.
Yeah, the village
rumors
built
of
atop the
gear-related
Hydra, I remember.
homicides independently attracted both Kai Kisk and Soul Bad Guy to investigate.
Two boys.
With help from a peculiar village doctor named
Wait, no, yo, hold on, wait. Yo, look at Soul Bad Guy's bandana. It says rock on it. Because of course it does. What does it say? Like, it probably says like rock you or something. Like some fucking Terry Bogard shit. Rock you!
village doctor named Faust. Kai uncovers a conspiracy involving the
Fucking
Placard
Faust.
Corporation, a pharmaceutical company experimenting on villagers with a drug called Vitae.
Okay.
Company president Sebas pushes Vitae as a miracle-curing elixir, but its misleading healing properties are due to people actually being dosed with extracted gear cells that destroy the body.
Okay.
Soul's investigation is interrupted by an enigmatic watcher, the resurrected immortal knight from 1,000 years prior.
The Roman dude. The Roman dude that showed up in like 1227 or whatever from Rome. It came back, and his name is Raven. All right, sure.
Now known as Raven appears before him.
Sure.
Bored of life and obsessed with pain, Raven's current mission is to retrieve gear resonance data and return it to his master, the Gear Maker, also known as That Man.
That man!
After immediately being incinerated by Soul's tyrant Rave, Raven's body rejuvenates and he expresses disappointment
Oh.
at not feeling any warmth. He then ambushes Faust, retrieves the data, and takes his leave.
The child. Edgy,
Sebas'
I know.
true aim is exposed as an attempt to create his own command class gear for military purposes.
Of course.
Using a pair of test subject sisters as a catalyst, he resurrects the Hydra,
Oh,
which
shit!
destroys the village. With recruited help from Johnny and the Jellyfish Pirates, however,
Johnny and the Jellyfish Pirates. I'm gonna rename my like Discord name to that. Like my group Discord where I hang out with my friends. I'm gonna call it Johnny and the Jellyfish Pirates.
most
our
villagers
name
are
now.
evacuated aboard the May ship. Kai,
The
Soul,
May
and
ship
Faust
saves
handle
the
threat
day.
and use a last resort
Yo, is there a Guilty Gear
Kai,
anime?
Soul, and Faust handle the
I didn't know there was a Guilty Gear anime. Is this an anime or like a game cutscene?
threat and use a last resort orbital satellite weapon to
Wait.
annihilate the Hydra.
Yo,
Cornered,
where do we get an
Sebas
orbital
overdoses
laser
on
weapon?
Vitae and becomes a gear, but he is quickly destroyed by Kai.
We're not gonna. Okay,
The
sure. We're not
discovery
gonna
of the
explain
golden
that.
discs.
Sure.
Johnny and May. When
Oh,
an ancient
hello, Johnny
site
and May.
of old world ruins is uncovered, many opportunists and hustlers flock to it, including Johnny and May, hopeful to get rich on treasures from the pre-Crusade world. They accidentally cross paths with Kai Kisk and his fellow IPF officers, however, on-site confiscating black technology. Kai thanks Johnny and May for their help during the Placard incident, but cannot allow them to go as criminal pirates at large.
Fucking
A fight
Kai,
ensues,
such a
causing
square.
part of the ruins to crumble and reveal an ancient golden data disk.
Okay.
The disk activates a hologram explaining its purpose,
What is
a
that?
full record of old world technology, culture, and scientific world knowledge created in 2014.
That's right when the Gear project was starting, I think. I think 2014 is when the Gear project started, and I think 2016 is when Frederick became the first Gear. So I think 2014 is like right when it started. Okay.
In the stunned commotion, Johnny performs a Mistfinder, cleaving the disc in two, and makes a
Okay.
break for it with May and one half of the disc as the rubble comes down.
Underboob.
The Jellyfish Pirates later get a lead on the location of another full disc but end up baited into a trap set by the Assassin Syndicate and Zato 1's loyal and infatuated subordinate, a man known as Venom.
Venom. This guy fights with a pull Q. I do know that. That's cool. I like that.
His attempt to steal the disc fails to the full power of the pirates, however.
Yeah!
Johnny, now understanding the danger of the disc, slices it into unrecognizable pieces, giving a shot.
A pool cue. You know when you play pool and you have your cue and you fucking shoot the balls? When you play pool? That's what he does. Guilty Gear is a weird fighting game, man.
Shard to each jellyfish pirate as a pendant.
Okay, so each jellyfish pirate has a piece of this like ancient relic. A pool cue? What the fuck? Yes. A pool cue. Like he literally summons balls on the screen and then he hits them and they bounce on the screen and they hit you in a fighting game. That's what he does. Guilty Gear is a weird fighting game and it's really cool because it's so fucking weird. Like, I know about that because a friend of mine is really into pool, and I remember I read about Venom and I was like, I hope this character gets into Guilty Gear Strive because I want to get my friend into the game further, and I feel like he would be a Venom main. Bizarre even. Yes, it is bizarre.
Kai and Potemkin.
Oh,
Meanwhile, Kai
I like how
is
they're
en route to
segmenting
turn over
this,
his half
following
disc to
each
HQ.
like chapter.
After a brief
each
encounter with Chip
character.
Zanuck, Zep airships surround Kai, threatening military action if the relic is not surrendered. He feigns compliance by handing it over, but then sneaks aboard the ship. He is soon caught by Potemkin, who respectfully greets Kai, politely asking that he withdraw. The two discuss the nature of bearing the responsibility of protecting man from itself, but ultimately come to an impasse and choose battle.
Oh,
Kai barely triumphs,
Ooh.
using his Ride the Lightning technique,
Of
staggering
course.
Potemkin long enough to grab the relic and flee.
Metallica reference.
But Potemkin and the Zep soldiers give chase. Kai, cornered, points out the dangers of history repeating itself and calls attention to the empty crater they're flying above, an area destroyed by black tech where no life will grow for another century.
This is so cool. This is so metal. I love this stage. It's so cool. Look at it. It's an ocean of like blood with graveyards coming off of it. Buildings that have been destroyed, half of them are churches, and they're like coming out of the sky for some reason.
Potemkin calls it a sin of the past,
That's like some Endoveva shit, but like even crazier.
cannot concede, because letting him go will result in the IPF simply using the disc to obtain power for themselves. Kai swears to prevent this, even if it costs him his life, which elicits heavy laughter from Potemkin.
Did he believe him?
An IPF rescue ship suddenly closes in, and Kai is able to escape. As they speed away, Kai requests permission from HQ to destroy the disc, but they deny, ordering him to return with it at once.
Oof.
Thinking of Potemkin's words, Kai hesitates. The ship is then attacked and forced to land. Waiting for Kai
That's
in the
interesting.
middle of the crater, his sole bad guy.
Of course. Of course. That's interesting though, that so he has half of the disc, and then Potemkin found it and he was like, okay, no. Potemkin didn't want to destroy it. But Kai did. And Kai is like, I'm gonna get rid of it. And Potemkin is like, no, you're gonna use it for your own gains. And then Kai goes back to the fucking IPF or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna use it, don't destroy it. And then Kai is like, wait, shit, he was right. And now they're being attacked by Soul. Or something.
Soul and Axel Rowe.
That's the
During
combination.
this conflict, Soul had been drinking in a bar when Axel Lowe crashed in with cops on his tail. A bar fight starts, which Soul Bad Guy ends with fire.
Of course.
Axel explains that he was overheard uttering E equals MC squared, a phrase that only people exposed to black tech would know. Soul, concerned about this dangerous development, tracks down the disc to a restaurant where it was pawned off as a decoration to a lively waitress named Jam Cradbury.
So, by the way, you didn't hear it for the intro in the previous game, but this guy, Axel Lowe, EMC squared. Yeah, this guy that looks like a ripoff of Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses, and it kind of is. This guy is literally a dude from 1998 who time traveled to 2178 for no reason. We don't know why, but he's just there now. He time traveled 200 years into the future. There's no reason for it. We don't know why. He doesn't know why. He's just confused. That's his story. It's really funny.
Pawned off as a decoration.
Okay, so concerned about this dangerous development, tracks down the disco restaurant where it was pawned
A
off.
lively
Decoration.
waitress
Okay.
named Jam Cradbury. She helps fight off the final group of Axel's pursuers.
This is all coming from an anime. I didn't know Guilty had a weird
Soul
anime.
activates the disc and operates it to reveal the locations of any functional backup copies. It points him to one partial copy, held by Kai Kisk.
That's when it links together?
Soul and Kai face off in the crater.
Okay.
Soul gets the upper hand, but before anything can be settled, an IPF captain with reinforcements arrives, wielding black tech firearms. Soul is gunned down by bullets. Kai is shocked to see his superior already using the forbidden technology, and realizes Potemkin was right. They can't be trusted. The captain notes Kai's refusal to play along and takes aim at him as well, but he's interrupted. Soul activates his Dragon Install,
Yeah!
an ability allowing him to surge with power from his inner gear beast form.
Yeah!
Soul melts through the soldiers, but Kai stops him from killing them.
Dragon
Takes them into
Install!
custody. With a clear understanding, they each destroy their own golden discs entirely. Testament and the Maiden of the Grove.
Ooh.
Through unclear means, Testament survives the end of the Second Holy Order tournament. Though he finds himself free from Justice mind control, he remains a slave of the weight of his sins.
Oh, that's so
He
cool.
finds his way to the grave of his father, Cliff.
Yeah.
While reminiscing, he meets a priest and a young orphan girl named Josephine. She is blind, but hopeful.
I like this stage.
She has recently become a patient of Dr. Faust.
Ooh.
Without warning, Venom ambushes and takes Josephine hostage, his terms demanding Faust to join the Assassin's Syndicate. Testament fights and saves her, fleeing deep into the nearby grove,
This
known
music
as
slaps.
Hell's Forest.
Hell's
There,
Forest.
Josephine introduces Testament to Dizzy. Innocent and pacifist, Dizzy was found and raised by an old couple in Josephine's village, unaware of her true identity. Command Class Gear and Daughter of Justice.
Command Class Gear and Daughter of Justice.
When she
Okay.
grew to adulthood in 3 years, with wings and a tail, the village grew fearful of her, forcing the old couple to abandon her alone in the grove. Her only friend was Josephine, who cannot see, but believes Dizzy to be an angel after touching one of her wings.
That's cool. It's cool how they did that. And I guess Sesamon is now going to be her friend. Hopefully.
Venom attacks again, causing
Ooh.
Dizzy's shape-shifting wings to awaken. With personalities of their own,
Ooh.
Necro, the Black Wing, and Undyne, the White Wing.
Okay, but okay, let's go over this real quick before we move on too far away from it. She's the Daughter of Justice. How did that happen? How did that happen? Like, Justice was a mech, but also a person, kind of. How I don't. I mean, we say daughter, doesn't have to be like. does it have to be the conventional route, or can it be like a weird magical daughter? I don't know. I want to know the specifics because this part is confusing to me. But fuck it. Just Justice's daughter. Roll with it.
Will attack to defend Dizzy, whether she wills it or not. Venom gets struck while aiming at Testament and accidentally hits Josephine.
Oh no.
Venom retreats, and they turn their attention towards getting her to a doctor immediately. Faust heals not only Josephine's wounds, but her sight as well.
Really?
But
how do you do
seeing
that?
Dizzy's body for the first time, she becomes confused. The priest and the villagers, however, upon learning that Dizzy has returned, set fire to the area, yelling, "Burn the demon."
Oh.
Dizzy begins to panic and cower as her wings lose control and the mob closes in.
Oh no. He did say that the wings would protect her no matter what, even if she doesn't want to.
Testament, feeling a deep connection with Dizzy's pain, steps in between her and the villagers and uses his 7th sign attack, non-lethally, with just enough power to stop Negro, Undyne, and the mob.
Okay.
In the shadows, Milia Rage convinces Venom to help save some villagers from the fire.
Okay.
Dizzy approaches
Cool.
Josephine, but gets slapped. Angry and fearful, Josephine calls Dizzy a demon and tells her to go back to the forest.
Aww.
The rest of the villagers join in, chasing them out. Testament swears to Cliff in this moment that he will choose to continue living to protect Dizzy as his sole purpose.
That's so cool. I love Testament. Holy shit. Like, I like Testament in the new game in Strive. I actually did play Testament a little bit. Like okay, it's random. I'm getting sidetracked here, but the other night I was playing with a couple friends. And I like just bought Testament on an impulse. I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna try what the fuck Testament is about. So I just bought Testament and I just played Testament on a real match with my friends. I didn't even check the move list. I was just like, fuck it, let's go. And it took me a little bit to get what actually Testament did, but after like 10 matches, I was like winning against my friend, and my friend was getting upset. And then like 2 days later we played again, and I just said, fuck it, let's go with Testament again. I didn't even go training mode. I didn't check the move list. I just did shit, and I actually got my friend so upset that he was like actually screaming. He was like, I don't want to play anymore. And I was like, do you really hate Testament that much? He was like, yes, I hate you. Stop doing this shit. And I'm like, okay, I guess 1, Testament is kind of easy to play, and 2, I guess I'm good with them. Sorry. And then I just switched to Baiken. And it's funny because he hated my Baiken, and then he played Testament, and he was like, actually, your Baiken's good. Just don't play Testament anymore. I really like Testament in the new game. And I do know that Testament at this point in the timeline in Strive is like moved on from all of the shit, and it's just kind of trying to live peacefully and finding hobbies. He like Testament builds like Gunpla and shit, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I love that. I can relate. I don't know if you can see it actually. Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, you can see my freedom right there. Like Testament builds like some modelkins and shit, and I like that's so good. And everything about Testament's like personality is like, oh, let's I'm gonna have some tea and whatever. It's like I'm past all the fucked up shit in my point in life, and now I'm just trying to like calm down and just relax and enjoy life for the simplicity that it is. That's awesome. But I didn't know about everything that happened before it, right? So Testament was like Cliff's son, and was like, hey, I want to try to help during the war, during the Crusades. I want to protect people. But then he died, quote unquote, and then he was kidnapped and experimented on, and then forced to serve under Justice's will, against his will, and then forced to like kind of kill himself for Justice, which somehow he lived through. He survived. And now he's at the point in life where he doesn't have a purpose, and his dad is dead, and he's like, fuck, man, like I don't have anything anymore. And now he randomly runs into Dizzy here, who is Justice's daughter. It sounds so poetic too, because Dizzy is Justice's daughter, which is the reason why Testament has gone through all this fucked up shit. But he doesn't feel any more like ill will towards Dizzy. He doesn't have any of that. That's cool too. But he feels like he can empathize with Dizzy because everyone sees Dizzy as a monster. But Testament is like, actually, I can relate to that. And also Dizzy has this like wings that actually do shit against her own will, which Testament also relates to that. Like, I've done stuff that I didn't want to do. So now he's like, you know what? I'm going to protect her. Because this is also 3 years old, by the way. Like, they said it. Dizzy grew from a baby into this in 3 years. So Dizzy probably doesn't have a lot of understanding of like human interaction or interaction in general or life in general. So I like this. Testament actually basically just adopted a daughter. That's awesome, dude. Oh, that's good. I like this character a lot. Now, like, I really like Testament in gameplay and in design in Strive. Now I really just like the character. That's so cool. God, that's awesome. All right.
Guilty Gear X, by your side.
Oh, second game. Now what are we doing? Angie, Joni, Venom, Jam. Oh, Vikings there. That's cool. Get your X by your
Within a matter of days, word spreads far and wide about the mysterious humanoid gear living in Hell's Forest, somehow still functional in a world without justice.
Okay.
As information spread,
So the plot
so
of
did
the second
panic.
game is about Dizzy, I guess.
A report stated, this gear is functioning properly, even though its activity should be inhibited by its lack of leadership. There are no signs of abnormalities or physical damage. It is also noted that no civilians have been harmed either intentionally or accidentally. We've made several attempts to eliminate the gear, but due to its tremendous combat abilities, we've been unsuccessful. The number of casualties has yet to be confirmed. We're currently keeping the gear under surveillance. A gear exerting its own will without justice terrified mankind at the possibility of the emergence of a second command class gear. Furthermore,
That would be
rumors were
fucked up.
spreading that nations were still somehow intent on possessing military purposed gears.
Yeah.
The people
Oh,
were
is this
having none of it,
Vikings?
however, and took a stand. With the coming of an anti-gear movement, an announcement was made.
That's Vikings backstory, isn't it?
Whoever brings about the demise of this dreadful gear shall be rewarded with the lofty sum of 500,000 world dollars.
Okay.
Dizzy is described as an impossible being and the strongest gear on Earth, descended from man and demon. The power to rend the earth, burn the heavens, and destroy mankind. The powers that be seek her strength, but all she longs for is contact. Bounty
That's
hunters
sad.
from around the globe begin to congregate in the forest she calls home. A number of familiar faces from the Second Holy Order tournament cross paths in search of the bounty. Some, like Potemkin, are sent in officially on secret orders to escort the target back to Zep. Others, like Kai Kisk, choose to intervene not on behalf of the IPF, but as a civilian bounty hunter. Or Angie Mita, who simply wants to learn more about the world. Each intends to resolve the situation in their own way. But no matter who approaches Hell's Forest, Testament stands ready to greet them. None are allowed to trespass on her holy ground.
The fact that Testament is here just to
Gears must die.
protect Dizzy.
Dizzy once expressed to Faust that she regretted being born to cause suffering.
Aww.
Faust later comes across Soul Bad Guy and asks if he intends to save Dizzy by ending her life. Soul simply replies, "Gears must die." Faust then asks Soul whether his statement is directed at her or perhaps...
Himself.
Soul eventually makes his way through Hell's Forest to Testament, through Testament, and then to Dizzy. She asks him if a gear's life has any value. He replies that gears are weapons, and so are their hearts. Necro and Undyne awaken and attack Soul, ever protective of their host. As they fight, Necro charges a gamma ray, which Soul immediately recognizes as the same kind of power he faced when fighting Justice.
I see, yeah.
Soul defeats Dizzy, and she asks him to finish her off before she hurts anyone else. Before landing the fatal blow, however, he hesitates. In that moment, Kai steps between them. He expresses that he felt conflicted since the defeat of Justice, but now he is certain. Not all gears are truly evil. Soul accepts Kai's resolve and leaves him to decide. As Soul leaves,
Out
Kai
of
is shocked
respect.
that Soul acknowledged him by his name. Life beyond the grove. Kai tells Dizzy that he believes there's a place in the world beyond that grove that can accept her for who she is. Dizzy is still fearful, recalling the way villagers treated her, but decides to trust Kai. She asks if he can teach her what it means to live as a human, and he accepts. Testament, whose Soul also did not kill, is distrustful of humans, but accepts Dizzy's choice to leave the grove. He chooses to remain, to ensure that she can live life off the grid, away from those that would hunt her down. Kai entrusts her to join the Jellyfish Pirates aboard the May ship.
Oh,
Notably, the crew, which is named for each month they joined, finally gets its final member.
December.
Jam Cradbury, who witnessed the conclusion of these events while hiding, then went on to claim the bounty for Dizzy's defeat and used the money to open up her own Chinese restaurant.
Oh my god, she
Inexplicable
took the money!
reasons, it burns down shortly after. leaving
Oh
her
my
in debt for
God!
repairs.
Oh no! Walk, walk, walk.
The Assassin Syndicate.
Oh, that's funny, actually. So all this crazy anime bullshit happened, and then Jam just saw it happen, and she was like, well, no one's gonna take the money now. I can just lie and take the money for myself. And then she took it, started a restaurant, and then burned down, and now she's in debt. That's hilarious, actually. Let's go.
Shortly after the events of Hell's Forest, Zato 1 is killed by Milia Rage.
Ooh!
Her complicated
She
feelings
got
of
his ass.
simultaneous admiration and hatred lead her to decide that she needs closure through vengeance. Venom, who would give his own life to save Zato 1, is unable to do so. When Milia finds and kills Zato, she is left feeling hollow inside, unaware that the forbidden beast Eddie was now fully in control of the dead body.
Ooh.
With Zato dead, Venom becomes the highest ranking member of the Syndicate.
Okay.
The leader of the isolated independent type gear colony in the Ganymede archipelago continues his research. Known as Dr. Paradigm, his ability to absorb information and understand world logic is almost unparalleled. After his successful contact with the mysterious reality known as the Backyard, he
Whatever that
discovers
is.
an isolated structure within it called the Cube.
The cube.
While it isn't clear at this point what it is or how it works, it appears to have been built by that man.
Of course he was that man.
Elsewhere, a servant
Oh
of
my
that
God.
man finishes a report on the incident in Hell's Forest. That man, now covered in robes, remarks to himself that it is
Okay, let me go back a second.
where
They don't know how it is, what it is, or how it works, but it was built by that man. Elsewhere, a servant of that man finishes a report on the incident in Hell's Forest. That man, now covered in robes, remarks to himself that it isn't interesting that,
man,
there was a
now
daughter.
covered in robes, remarks to
So
himself
it is
that
not
it is
something that
interesting
he
that there
necessarily
was a
planned
daughter,
for.
and assigns his servant to monitor her. He then thinks aloud that this has truly created yet another reason to be killed by him.
So bad guy, the Guilty Gear. That's it. That's it for today. Yeah, I think that's it. Yep. Okay, so this is interesting. This has created another reason to be killed by him. Okay, so this is not something that he knew about, but it is something that he considers to be like, all right, he hates me harder now. So, okay, that is interesting. Okay, let's try and go back. I'm not gonna do a recap again because that's gonna take a long time, but I'm gonna skim through this video again once more. This is interesting because yeah, so Daisy joined the pirates. Okay, so it's interesting how this resolved. Kai kind of saved the day. So Soul came in here with the mentality that all gears must die. And as the powerhouse that he is, he succeeded. And he defeated everyone, defeated Testament, and defeated Dizzy, and was about to kill Dizzy. And then Kai showed up and he intervened, and he was like, actually, I don't think all gears are necessarily evil. I don't think we should just kill them all. Because he kept thinking about the words that Justice told him last tournament. So now he's like, actually, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe she seems good. And then Kai has this, Soul has this moment where he respects Kai's decision. Like, he actually decides not to kill Dizzy, probably impartially because he considers that maybe we shouldn't do it, but also because he just respects Kai. So because of that, he's like, you know what? Fuck it. Sure, dude. Do whatever you want. You know, also Soul is like a carefree kind of person, so it makes sense. Kai then gives Dizzy to the pirates. So, because she has nowhere else to go. So, fuck it. She can join the crew of this outcast of society that Kai encountered before during the disc situation. So, yes, it's like, yeah, fuck it. You can join them. And they accepted her, welcomed her. Also, Testament, who Soul also did not kill in distressful humans, but accepts this as choice to leave the groove, but she chooses to remain to ensure that she can live life off the grid away from those who would hunt her down. So I don't know what that exactly means, but I think what that means is that Testament remains in the grove, because the idea is that people think that there's still someone in the grove. So then but the person that actually is in the grove is Testament, not Dizzy. I guess. You know? Well, I guess everyone thinks that Dizzy's dead because of what Jam said. Damn, Jam is the Mr. Satan of the Guilty Gear universe, I guess. But anyway, Testament remains in the grove. Man, I was hoping Testament would just join the pirates too. That would be fun. But Dizzy joined the pirates, is now wearing the sailor suit. Yeah, every fucking member of the pirates has a name after a month. Janice, Febby, March, April, May, June, July, August, Sephi, Octi, Novo, and now Dizzy. That's funny.
Of these events while hiding.
Her fucking Jam's restaurant died. Okay, so Milia kills Sato. This is very interesting. So Venom tried to protect Sato, but didn't. He failed. Milia kills Sato, but Sato's body was then taken over by Eddie. Yes. Venom becomes a higher member of the Syndicate, and then Dr. Paradigm finds about the cube inside of the backyard, and they assume that it was made by that man. And that's kind of all that happened right there at the end. Dude, like, I fucking love these videos. They're really good. Guilty Gear lore is fucking great. I'm having a lot of fun with it. My favorite part about this is still probably Testament and Dizzy. I love that dynamic of those characters, Testament and Dizzy. Man, I fucking love Testament. Testament is becoming like actually one of my favorite characters in that franchise now. That's so good. Foss design is so really fucking cool, actually. I can't believe Foss is like actually super nice. That's really funny to me. All right, so I that's gonna be it for this video and also this stream, I believe. I've been streaming for like 2 hours. Yeah, I've just been sitting here for 2 hours watching Guilty Gear videos and just talking about it. Like, it's funny because I watch basically like 50 minutes of videos, but the remaining hour and 10 minutes was just me talking shit. See, yeah, Rappy, I didn't know you were here. I'm guessing you're playing Animal Crossing. That's fine. I'm hoping you're having fun. Dude, I'm gonna watch the other videos in some other stream. Dude, I mean, I'm not gonna promise a stream soon, but like it might happen. I'm gonna try. I'm playing Link's Awakening. Okay, have fun, dude. I'm gonna try to stream at some point soon because I really do wanna see more Guilty Gear lore videos. Because like, okay, we have one, two, I guess 2 more videos to watch. I guess Duel 3 and Duel 4, and then we begin Xrd. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna do this, but I do have Xrd. Well, I have Rev 2. I think Sign is a different game, but if anything, I can just watch Sign in YouTube probably. But I'm gonna watch the story modes for Guilty Gear Xrd, Sign, and Rev 2, and then I'm gonna watch the story mode for Guilty Gear Strive in game. I own both of those games. I want to watch them. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna watch these videos to resume the earlier games, which I guess we only have 2 left. And then I'm gonna watch the story mode for Xrd, which is just gonna be like a 5-hour anime movie. Well, I think it's 2. Well, I don't know how long Sign and how long Rev 2 is gonna be. Worst case scenario, that's gonna be like 10 hours. And then Strive, which is like an extra 5 hours. Oh god. Okay, that's just gonna be like that's gonna fuck me up, dude. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it in a single sitting. Fuck. Okay, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna try. Greetings. Hi, Fredacious. I'm about to end the stream. It's been 2 hours. You're late. You're late. We just watched 2 hours, well, more like 1 hour of Guilty Gear lore. And it was great. This game franchise is good, man. And Testament is fucking good. Testament slaps. But glad you could join us for like a little bit. I'm gonna try to stream sometime soon to the remaining videos, and then I'm gonna see what the fuck I do with Xrd. I'm so early, just the opposite. Yeah, man, that's how it works. I'm just gonna go now because I'm really hungry. I'm gonna go cook something, eat, and then either sleep or watch JoJo because the new episodes just came out. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. All right. I think I'm just gonna end the stream now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm glad I could just stream 2 hours just now. And I actually talked the entire 2 hours. I feel good about that. I feel productive. I never really feel productive, but now I feel productive. I feel good about that. But yeah, I'm just gonna go now. If you're interested in Guilty Gear lore at all, please watch Wooly's videos on it. Again, the channel is Wooly versus. This is Guilty Gear lore, Heaven or Hell. You can go watch the lore, or you can watch my VOD that I just went through from the beginning until the second video, and I just talked through the entire thing because I'm an asshole. And if you're interested in the game because it looks cool as shit, buy Guilty Gear Strive and play Guilty Gear Strive. Guilty Gear is fun, man. It's a great game. So yeah, man, I'm gonna play Guilty Gear Strive now. I did do a stream of it. I want to do another stream of it. But like, I have fun playing with friends. It's been a long time since I played online. I don't know if I'm gonna find anyone to fight online because I live in Argentina, South America. But now there might be a lot of people that join in because of Bridget. I don't know. The reason I'm late is totally because it's so shocking that there's a fucking stream totally why. Yeah, I can't read. There's a stream totally why. Yeah, sure. That's makes sense. I'm sorry I haven't been streaming. A lot happened in my life. I didn't say it earlier, but I mean, not a lot, but like I got sick. I got COVID at one point. I got super like burnt out. I had a lot of work to do. I got sick like 3 times. One of them was COVID. I said it. It was my birthday, like a couple weeks ago. It was my birthday, and I was busy for that. And yeah, that's just mostly it. Like I've been super sick constantly because it's winter, and it's just allergies and sickness and just shit. Just get a better immune system. So simple. It's funny you say that because like I used to never get sick, like ever, and now this past like 2 years, it's just been like terrible for me. I guess I need more like vitamins. I need to see the sun more often, probably. And also I've been like working a lot, so that's also probably not helping. Before I could just chill and not do anything, and that probably was better for my health. But now I'm like pushing myself, sleeping like shit, and not doing well generally. So that's probably what it did. But yeah, I'm just gonna go now. We're gonna talk some other time. Again, I want to watch the rest of the videos, so I hope I can do another stream soon, this weekend or next week. No promises, but I'm gonna try. Today I was awake during the morning time, so that really helped because usually I'm sleeping during the day, which is not great, but fuck it. Okay, I'm just gonna go now. Thank you for joining in for like a little bit. Rapid, you were here for a while. Thank you for listening to my dumb bullshit about Guilty Gear, but I believe this game franchise slaps. So okay, I'm just gonna go now. Thank you so much for joining in. Let me find a good song to play. Yeah, this is a good song. Million Rage themes from Strive. I'm gonna play this song from Guilty Gear Strive, and I'm just gonna go. Thank you so much for joining in. Take care. Have a good one. Rappy, Flirtatious, everyone who joined in. See you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.